Okay. What is up, guys? Welcome back to Dronex. Today we're taking a look at a few different frames for the Mobula, because as all of you guys know, the Mobula 1 frame wasn't really all that strong. This my Mobula 1 frame is just completely broken everywhere, and it has a few problems. Like when these bars break, the motor mounts gets really unstable, so the motor just keeps flapping on everywhere. It's really hard to like fix and stuff. So the guys over at Happy Model actually noticed that, and they decided to design this Mobula version 2 frame. Now this is pretty much the same frame, I think it's exactly the same one, but this one actually has another plastic which is a lot bendier. So yeah, this is the version 2 frame, and then we have the eachine Trashcan frame. Now I heard a lot of good stuff about this one. We'll see how it fits all of the components right after this segment. And then we have, of course, my 3D printed frame. If you haven't seen this one, check it out in my other video. I'll have a card right here. So, enough chit chat, let's start building. And let's start with this one. Let's build the eachine Trashcan frame and see how it holds up. So first off, the eachine Trashcan frame. Now the pros are it's definitely the strongest of the bunch. It has just a lot of plastic, although that adds weight. The battery mount is a bit bigger than it should, so it doesn't fit the Mobula batteries perfectly, but it's an easy fix. And finally, it's a bit bigger than the Mobula frame, especially in the height wise, so it does take up a bit of a bigger footprint than the Mobula frame. Even though this frame isn't made for a Mobula, the assembly is really straightforward and all the Mobula components fit perfectly in it. So now that we've tested the Trashcan frame, it's time to put it up against the Mobula version 2 frame. This is a super neat and lightweight frame. It definitely just has the bare essentials. I like how it's really thin all over the place, which means you will probably experience less prop wash and an overall smoother flight. The frame is also quite soft and bendy, which could help with vibrations. So of course, when using the Mobula 2 frame, you actually need to use this little adapter. Unsurprisingly. So that will actually add a bit of weight to the frame, so I think that's pretty interesting. But it does work and it holds the battery really firmly. And as I said before, when using the eachine Trashcan frame, you will need something like this adapter anyway, because it's made for larger batteries. At least if you're running these standard Mobula batteries. It does feel very smooth. It's hard to tell if it's actually smoother than the Trashcan frame. Like, I'm not very good at doing these flips. Ooh, now that was a hard crash. And I actually managed to break the frame. Interesting. Okay, so the frame broke right here where the duct connects. When crashing like that, that's really one of the toughest ones, because then you have like the momentum going downwards and your speed, and it really hits the duct like straight on. If you're going to wall, then you usually have like an angle like this and kind of smooth over like that. It doesn't really hurt the ducts like perfectly straight. So while this frame definitely seems a lot stronger than the original Mobula frame, as it actually did survive 2 full-on collisions with the door. I'll play them right here so you can see it. It survived both of those without a scratch. But yeah, it definitely did break at the end. So now that we've checked out this Mobula version 2 frame, it's time to compare it to the 3D printed frame. Now, you've already seen this frame in my last video. Now, if you want to take a look at the 3D printed frame, just look at my last video. I'll go through the whole build process and talk about the strength and weaknesses of this frame. So let's talk results. What can I say about these 3 frames? The 3D printed, the Mobula version 2 frame, and the Trashcan frame. Well, they all have their strengths and weaknesses, quite literally. Let's talk about the Mobula 2 frame. Here's the thing, this one is definitely, without a doubt, the lightest one, and that's really compelling. That's really the strongest argument that can be made for this frame. Also, it's just really neat. The batteries goes in here and it's just super compact. This frame is actually a bit taller, so this, when using this frame, it does feel like a bigger quad than using the Mobula 2 frame. This frame will probably still break. Just like the version 1, this one will probably also break because, well, I just broke mine when flying indoors. Now I was flying in acro, it did survive 2 full power straight on collisions into walls. So if you're flying like in stabilized mode inside, just trying to fly fast like a horse, then this one might be a great option for you because it's definitely the best performing one. But if you're flying acro and you're flying outside and you know that you're gonna do like a lot of like power loops and you hit the ground like straight down, well, then this one's probably gonna break just like the Mobula 1 frame. So then let's talk about this frame, the eachine Trashcan frame. This frame actually was surprisingly good. I didn't really expect myself to like it, so I only ordered like 2 of these. Well, I ordered like 5 of these frames, but the thing is, I actually really do like this frame. They fixed the biggest issue with the Mobula frame, and that is, as I said before, this bar here going to the motor from the duct. It's a lot stronger here, which is really nice. And yeah, this frame is just really built like a tank. I will probably have a very hard time destroying this one, and as you can see, this one as well survived the 2 straight-on collisions into the door. Now I didn't get one of these like straight down. It's hard to like test that with accuracy. It's much easier to do the straight into the wall test because, well, when flying in stability mode I can have the same speed every time. But this one definitely feels a lot stronger than the Mobula 2 frame, but I guess you'll have to be the judge of the crashes. And then there is the problem with the battery holder. So this battery holder obviously isn't made for you Mobula batteries. It's made for bigger batteries, like the Trash can actually use. So you kind of need some kind of spacer or something here when putting in 2 of these Mobula batteries, because otherwise they're gonna be a bit loose. So that's also kind of a minor detail. It's not really hard to fix. You just need to find something like a foam piece or something would work. So you can see that they don't really take up the space that they need to take up. So let's talk about the last frame, the 3D printed frame. This frame, what I do like about this frame is it's so neat. If you compare these two, there's just so much stuff on this one, and this one's just so clean. Also, what's really cool about the 3D printed one is that you can actually replace this prop guard, which is actually really convenient because usually it's just this one that breaks. Now, when it comes to strength, I have managed to break this 3D printed one, and it does break. So I guess it is still a lot weaker than this frame. This frame is definitely stronger and might even be weaker than the Mobula version 2 frame. Hard to say, although I did break this one pretty quickly and I haven't really made any like sustained damage to this one. And as you saw in the build video, this one I did have a few quite hard crashes outside with this one. So this one still is really strong. Now, I have a harder time recommending the 3D printed frame now that I've tested these two, but I guess if you do have a 3D printed frame, and especially if you're using one of these and then they break and you need to wait for a replacement, then the 3D printed frame could actually be a great way to go, like in between these other frames. Also, to be honest, the 3D printed frame is really good, so if you feel like you can handle like it breaking here and there and just replacing these parts and 3D printing new parts, then I guess this one is pretty good. I guess that cleared up a lot about these frames, and it's very interesting to try this out because I've been speculating a bit. I haven't tried these until now, and it's very interesting to see how different the eachine Trashcan frame is compared to the Mobula. Another interesting side note is that I actually saw that on Banggood, the Mobula Happy Model guys have actually released a Mobula frame that has the exact same design as this one. It's white though, I think. So that's pretty interesting. I wonder why they're exactly the same. So I guess they picked up on the fact that this design was much stronger. But anyways, that's it for this video. Go out and buy yourself a frame. And as my last tip, just make sure to buy a lot of frames. Like seriously, whichever you choose, the frames are really cheap. So just buy like 5 of them and you'll be able to fly for as long as you want.